with so much going on in the world right now, one of the best things you can do for yourself and your family is to get out of the system. If you rely on credit cards to live, you're stuck in the system. If you rely on, let's say, government, you're stuck in the system. So simplifying your life so you don't have to rely on these cycles and systems and programs and different things is going to make your life much more simplified, much more peaceful, and you're really just you're making your, I don't want to say you're making your life smaller, but you are bringing it in. You're gaining control. Things can get out of control so fast, especially if you are focused on, for example, you're focused on making your house a home. There's nothing wrong with making your house a home, but what happens is we become so focused on making our house a home that it doesn't matter what we spend or what we buy or how much it is or how much time is spent. I know people who they live for Facebook Marketplace. They're on there every single day. Let's see what I can find. And so you're spending all this time on Facebook Marketplace to find things that you probably don't need. Like, how much furniture do you actually need in one room? You need some place to sit and some place to set things on. Really, like a couple chairs, a rug, some lighting, maybe some storage. But that's really it. It's things have gotten so out of control that we spend our life chasing all these accessories and extra pieces that we're not really thinking about what we're spending and the time we're spending and the money we're spending on all of the things that are unnecessary. Now, extra pieces in the home, such as accessories, make it cozy. It is the details that make the home nice, such as trays or baskets or vases or flowers. It's like the jewelry on the home. It makes it pretty. It makes it cozy. It brings in personality. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with doing that, as we all want to have a nice, beautiful home. The point that I'm making is, how much time do you spend on unnecessary things? Home goods runs, Target runs, at-home runs, Facebook Marketplace hauls. Look what I got. And then all of the time that you might have spent on hunting for that thing, getting the deal, negotiating with the buyer, going to pick it up, refurbishing it, finding a place for it, and then you got to fill it. Let's say it's an old china cabinet. Then you're like, well, I need to go to the thrift store to find a bunch of stuff to fill this with. You're spending your life for junk, for stuff to fill your home, while life is actually passing you by. And that's what I'm talking about, is when it becomes such a habit that it's controlling our life. I am not talking about decorating your home and making a cozy place for you and your family. Of course you want to have that. That's your sanctuary, that's your peaceful place, that's where you thrive, that's your resource center, that's where you get rest, that's where you eat, that's where you cultivate your talents, that's where you raise your family. So you want it to look nice, you want it to feel good, you want to grow from that place. So there is a line to trading your actual life for that. That's the problem, is when that takes precedence over your life, yourself, your family, your health, then that becomes in control. And either you're controlling it or it's controlling you. So if you find yourself spending the majority of your day on things for the house, or you end up spending the majority of your day on stuff for the house, searching for deals for the house, online scrolling, online shopping, filling it with more and more and more, getting to the point where you can't even decorate because there's too much stuff to even move around, like everywhere, 50 vases and all of this stuff. And so that becomes overwhelming. And then you're wondering why don't you feel satisfied? Why doesn't your home feel good for you? Well, stop and look around. Why doesn't it feel good? How cluttered is it? How out of control is it? Do you have all of that access stored in a storage room or in a closet, and you may not know, maybe it's not in your face, but you know it's there, and you know someday I got to deal with all that stuff. I got to dig through all that stuff. Well, there's more time. There is more time spent and wasted on that. I am seriously at the point where I want simplicity and peace over anything. If something's going to steal that or take that away, I don't want it. I don't want to be stuck in cycles. I don't want to owe. I don't want to give explanations. I don't want to chase trends. And I felt this way for quite a while now, and I'm very intentional about what I bring into the home and what I let go of, because I've learned not to be attached to things. I am no longer attached to stuff. I'm not even attached to this place. I have great memories everywhere I've lived, everything that I've done, every season of life, and I hold on to the memories, and I have photos that I can look back on. But being attached to where you trade your future, you trade your life, that's different. So you have to let go of the grip. You're not taking anything with you. What's the point? What's the end result, I guess? What are you going for? So for me, I'm very clear on it. Peace, freedom, simplicity, a simple, abundant life, and to do what God wants me to do, to run my race, to walk closely with Jesus. Those are my reasons. That's my why. Anything that gets in the way of that, I don't want. And I want to flourish in my gifts, walk my purpose, be a good mom, be a good wife. I don't need to be friends with everybody. I'm okay with setting up boundaries. I'm okay with not pleasing people. This is a very different me from 5 years ago. It would have been very different, a very different answer. So get clear on what is your purpose, what's pushing you, what's motivating you, what is that end result, what's the goal? Because when you get that one room done and remodeled and fixed, then what? You're going to find another room. Oh, and you're going to find another space, and then there's going to be this. And by the time you move on to that room, there's going to be repairs. Everything takes longer and everything's more expensive than what we actually realize. And during that time, you're rushed because you might feel accomplished for a while, like, yeah, this room looks great. It's done. Finally done. But then you've already moved on to something else. You got to remember, everyone in your house is having an experience, not just you. Your kids are having an experience. Your husband's having an experience. They're having a life experience. It cannot be all about you and your stuff in your house, in your vases and your pillows and your decor and your content. They don't bow down to you because you're creating content in the home. We have really lost our path, our way. And we think that because of the amount of followers we have, that somehow we're owed respect and somehow we are like a celebrity, or you owe me this and it's like, no, you don't. You could lose that any day. That doesn't dictate who you are. I know plenty of small Instagram accounts that are way more talented than some of these large ones. The large ones are just, a lot of them are just push, buy this, consume, look at this gadget, Amazon must have, you run, don't walk, buy this viral item, look at this, olive tree, look at this cabinet. I've got 3 cabinets pushed together to make one big cabinet, next to another cabinet, next to an olive tree, next to 10 layers on my bed. And, it's like, it's too much. Don't you want to just simplify and be like, whatever, whatever. That's how I feel. And some of the smaller accounts are really refreshing, because they're more intentional. I think that's what it is. They're not sucked into this gadget, this non-slip bath mat I keep talking about, oh, you better buy this so you don't slip and fall getting out of the shower. And those have been around for 10 years, 20, 50 years probably. I mean, a non-slip, it's not anything new, and it's definitely not a must-have. It's just something that's okay. It's decent, like a bath towel. It's not a live or die type thing. I've had companies that have wanted to collaborate with me, and they've wanted me to say must have. I said absolutely not. I don't ever use that, because you know what a must have is? A place to live, health, a healthy body, a healthy mind, peace. That's a must have. Food, clothes, something to wear. Those are must-haves. All this other garbage is not a must-have. And some of these accounts that are like million followers, because all they do is promote a bunch of crap, you're wasting your money, and you think that you're winning by buying that junk, this giant coffee bong, and all of this ridiculous stuff. All you're doing is making that person richer. That's what you're doing. You're fueling and feeding the beast is what you're doing. You're feeding into the cycle and you're making it grow larger. You know how you stop something from growing? You starve it. So you can't keep feeding into a cycle that is destroying your life. That's exactly what you're doing. You have to stop, gain control, pull back. And I'm not talking about not buying anything and never spending and not having a nice home. Buy what you want, buy what you love. You're going to appreciate it so much more if you buy something because you actually love it and not because it was a good deal and not because it was this trendy item that somebody told you to buy, not because it was a viral item and not because it was on sale, but because you loved it. You loved it and you need it. That's another win. And if it happens to be on sale, then that's a triple win. So it's a different mindset that keeps you in control instead of keeping those things controlling you. It's like that saying, either you're selling or they're selling you. Either you're selling or you're getting sold. So one position is dominant over the other position. And you have to decide which position are you in most of the time. Are you in the upper position or do they have the upper position over you? Are you constantly being sold? Are you constantly pressing shop, buy without thinking first? It's the impulse that is the problem. You have to control that impulse and you have to stop and think, do I love this? Is this something that I've been looking at for a long time? There's things that I love I've been looking at for a long time, and then the time comes around, somebody promotes it, and I'm like, you know what, I will buy it because I've been looking at it for a while. That's different because it came back around, you were thinking about it, you liked it, and you bought it. And I'm just tired of seeing like the same old junk and the same old stuff and the same old, people promoting the same old thing every single day. I'm sure people are tired of my page with the same old stuff. They're probably like, okay, we've seen organic, modern, written text overlay on your page. I'm tired of it actually. So I'm trying to rebrand and figure out what's the next step in my life? What do I want? And that's where I got really clear about, well, I want peace and I want simplicity. I want to keep my standards high, stay elevated, attract the good that I desire, walking the righteous path with Jesus by my side, following what God's race is for me and my family, being a good mom, a good wife, cultivating a healthy home. It doesn't need to necessarily be a giant home right now, or anything. It's because you can make a home no matter where you're at. I truly believe that every space has potential. It could be a trailer and you could make it super cute. So it's not necessarily the space, it's how you choose to live and what is important, what is priority, and what's taking precedence over other things. It's not just all about you. It's not just all about your stuff. And it's the time that you're wasting buying and refurbishing, spray painting, putting baking soda over a junky vase, buying a vase and putting a lampshade on it to make it look like a lamp. I mean, come on. That's like more ridiculous than I could even say. Just get something purposeful, and you're not fooling anybody. And the thing is, nobody cares. I've realized, like, nobody cares if I'm on Instagram or I'm not on Instagram. Nobody really cares. It's not even, people are so busy and focused on themselves anyways, that live your life. Like, do what God has called you to do. Don't trade it for all of this lower stuff.